Hey guys, welcome to a new speed paint. Today we're going to be doing the second part of our Pride collection. Last time it was Andreas, and now we have his boyfriend Hayden. For this one, I just wanted to have a sort of similar pose, just sitting down and just letting the character speak for itself. I will say I don't think I like this one the most for the fact the coloring and the background don't really match with the actual character. For the shirt, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was kind of conflicted on what Hayden would have wanted, or as a character what he would wear. For just simplicity's sake, I just chose a normal t-shirt. For his bangs, I didn't really know what to do. I wanted something more realistic, so I chose to do shorter bangs with more detail within them. I liked how I drew the face, so I just changed the hair and went along with it. And now on to line art after adding the Pride shirt. I wanted to make something new instead of just repeating the same process. I was just making a gay flag shirt. I wanted to make it more simplistic. For Hayden, I thought of him being more new to his identity and having some sort of coming to terms with it. After all, I wanted some sort of relatability to some people that haven't realized their sexuality or haven't come to terms with it because of something in their household or upbringing. I do like the sort of lining style I have with just simplicity and just the curvature, but I think I do need to work on having it be more precise and not just wiggly and just not cohesive. Shoes, I didn't like them whatsoever. I thought they looked more boxy than anything else, so I do redraw those just to make sure they actually look like shoes instead of just tissue boxes used for shoes. I also think that the laces within the shoes are a little too detailed for this, as the rest of the character is a little bit more simple, and thought I should just do something else with it. I wanted to make a more flowing piece of hair, so I do use a pen tool just to make sure it's the right curvature. I also do edit just a little bit of the pen width or size just to make sure it does match with the rest of the liner. I do add a little bit more line texture just to make sure it divides the hair nicely and just shows more definition. With the background, I wanted something simple and just beach-like. I do try and design something from memory, but wasn't really feeling it. So I do decide to do something more from the pier or just looking over some sort of like wall. From having Hayden in the photo later on, I do see that it needs to be taller and it just wouldn't match with him. Here you can see that I'm just stretching the trees out just a little just to make sure they do match and have some sort of resemblance of actual realistic stuff, of actual realistic proportions. I try and do a stone path, but with my skill set, I didn't feel really confident with how it went. So later on, I decided to make it wood. Here I'm just lining the palm trees. I do think later on that I need to practice lining organic items such as like plants. With also the palm leaves, I didn't feel very confident in those. I do use a more painter-like style with them and think I should have practiced a little bit more with those, but art is always about learning. And now on to color. Here I just have some color reference just to make sure it's easy, and then I already have it planned out and it's cohesive. I didn't really know what to do with Hayden's shirt. I wanted something that I could actually see when I don't have the background on, so I just do a little gray. And then a blue phone just to match with his hair for it's not clashing with the rest of the piece. With the shoes, I also thought might as well make something a little bit more simple. And with the rainbow, I added to his shirt and also within his socks as stripes. I use a gradient tool just to make sure all the colors are presented equally and don't have any error within that. Here you can see that I'm just coloring the background just making sure I have all the base colors down when I actually paint the rest. I do change the sky color, just making sure it doesn't look too dark and that it's more of a sunrise instead of a sunset. I wanted something more cool tone with Hayden's blue hair and just making sure it's not too uneven with everything else that I do. I use a gradient tool for most of the items just for easy shading, but I do go later on, I do go in with just a little bit of a different layer type just to make sure everything's fine. Color the stalks of the palm stems and just make sure they're the right shade of green. I then paint the palm tree leaves. I do think I'll practice a bit more with other types of plants because these I really don't feel confident in and think a little bit more practice would have been better. I copy and paste them just to make sure it's layered more and it's thicker. Later on, I use more shading just to make sure everything looks thicker and hides more of the imperfections. I also add wood grain to the deck. I also add some detail to the concrete wall just to make sure there is some remnants of texture within it. I also add that to the sand just to make sure there is also texture within there, but I do smooth it out just to make sure it's not all bad. But within that, I also add some sea foam or just splashing effect within the water just to give it some life to it as well. And here I'm doing the lighting effect just to make sure there's some shadow. After all, it is sunrise. I do want to have some sort of shadow since he is looking away from the sun. I also add just basic shading just to make sure I have some sort of regular shading to compare to the more harsh shadows that come in. I also use my normal gradient tool just to get regular shading to the hair, just to make the shading job just a little bit easier. I add a little bit of highlights. I do find it a little hard to do highlights on the rest of the hair instead of just the bangs. So for the most part, I just airbrush it on just to show the effect. I also add shading to the shirt just to make sure there is definition and form to it. And I also add a little bit more detailing to the shorts and phone. I also change the color of the shoes just to make sure there is some sort of dark tone towards his outfit. And I finally add the rainbow details. For the stripes, I didn't really have a clue of how I was going to place them. It was just more of a heat of the moment sort of thing. So they do get a little bit weirdly spaced. I also try to do some weird shading here. I don't understand what I was trying to do. But later on, it does go on with the regular shading that I try and do. I try and shave off where the places the light would have hit, just to make sure there isn't that much of a hassle while trying to color it, but realize I'm just going to airbrush it on anyway. Later on, I go in with the shading color and just airbrush it on by itself, just to make sure there's actually some definition within that as well. I go in with lighting just to make sure there is some sort of sunlight hitting off of him to make it feel real or more realistic. I go around and fix just the airbrush around the body so it doesn't look like he's glowing, and just on the actual parts of his body that are colored. I think I also do this with the shadows just to make sure everything is nice and cohesive. I also rearrange him just to make sure he's not in a weird, awkward place. And then I draw the drop shadow of where his shadow would be. And here's the final result. I hope you guys enjoyed this speed paint and hope you join us for next speed paint. If you have any requests, please leave them down below. If you want to support me, please follow my links down below. And also, I'll be coming out with new prints. Details about how to order those and what I will be selling will be soon. I will be getting that within the next month or two. And have a great Pride. Good day and bye.